Rain falls almost all the time. Light is covered by gray clouds so the sun doesn't shine. 21 years spent in a puddle called Port Townsend, a place where sad people can drown their sorrows in. When I was just a little boy, my dad and I would play every day. We used to watch Alvin and the Chipmunks and rent video games, and for 17 years, Dad, you were my best friend. You loved me with a love that could never end. You always looked out for me, and we would read the Bible every night. And when I got scared, you'd pray that Jesus would take away my fright. You were 21 years young when God gave you your son, and you set your plans for life away and began a new one. Well, I never truly said how thankful I was. Instead, at 17, I did what every teenager does. I started pulling away. But when I left your home, all my joy strayed. I had been lost in trying to find myself in the midst of self-created chaos. And at 18, it started wearing at me, so I had to go to therapy. They prescribed me with happy pills that I would never take. I figured God had my back, and those pills just weren't a part of my fate. Well, 19 comes by, and I started getting high simply to ignore the voices that were inside my mind. But I was far too depressed, filled with pain in my chest. And I would always try to feel happy, but I never tried my best. So the demons came at 20 and started waking me up at night, screaming, "Woe is me," and calling me a waste of life. I never felt fine, and I was far from alright. So I kept smoking more weed to stay high as a kite. I had been stuck in a slump since I was 1, and I started to love the pain as if it was someone. My family would stay silent and hold their breaths for my life, hoping I'd feel better, praying I'd be alright. That was a void I called life, and life was called pain. What's the point of what we're doing? What is there to gain? Every night I sleep, it always turns out the same. I wake up at 3 and I feel the same shame. Well, I met a girl who took me in, and we would always talk about how it feels to love. Still brokenhearted, I started to trust her just so I could get hurt even more. Face down drunk, lying on her floor. I'm doing my all for you, but my all wasn't my best. She brought me into her life and cut up my chest. This is what happens when you put me at the same spot as God, she said. Now move on, 'cause you and I are dead. I thought I fought my wars, and I thought that they were over. Till I met those eyes in November, and I went totally sober and relapsed in December. Those eyes faded away. It's hard to enjoy the sun when the sky is always so gray. I never left a single cut in my body, so it's still whole. But I gave my heart to false gods, and it's torn up my soul. 21 years young, here's your first son. Dad, I'm singing these sad songs I wish I never sung. But the emotions became a part of me, and I'm sure we can all relate. I'm sure all of us deal with sadness somewhere in our fate. I just want to hear you, God. I want to know that I'm fine. I know that in time everything heals, but I've been healing for a long time, until my thoughts became silent. I finally listened. The prayer had been answered that I had just been wishing. You said, "Why have you turned your back on me? You don't need to sin." Well, I died on that cross so that you can live again. There is no need for a destructive life. You come to me and you will never die. I love you, and I want to know you, and I want to see you, and I want to meet you. I want to set you free. Will you please be at peace with me? Set all your pain aside. Let me give you new life. Well, at 21, I said I was done, so I put down the pipe and bottles and truly accepted God's son. I smile more, and I know that I'm not alone. I found love in God's name, and I made it home.